Hello everyone and welcome to Cover 2 TV. I'm Steve Hall, this is Chris Pajak. Second show of the week.
Look at you.
Like London buses, we are back and
Look at you.
we are throwing the content out like confetti. On our last show, if you go back and watch or listen, you'll have seen our team previews, our Super Bowl predictions, etc. This show, we're looking more at the individual award winners that we're going to try and predict. MVPs, Offensive Player of the Years, Rushing Champions, etc, etc. Chris, let's just get straight into it then. The first category we're going to go for is the rushing leader. So who was in your mind in terms of potential winners of this, and then who did you ultimately end up plumping for?
So Zeke and Barkley, and I went with Zeke.
You think he's going to play? Hopefully he's going to play.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a bit of a disaster if he doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, not for me.
I mean, in general, who cares?
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, who cares generally, but in terms of your predictions, it will be ridiculous if he doesn't.
I just think I love Barkley, and I think it would be really easy to say him, but he catches a lot as well. Yeah. And Zeke doesn't tend to do a lot of that. He'll just pound and pound and pound. So, and I've got a feeling that, you know, if he is to play the full season or as close as possible, I think he wins about 100 yards.
I went for Christian McCaffrey.
See, there's another one who just catches the ball a lot. Like, I just can't see him rushing for 1,300 or something.
That's the thing, is that my thinking was, I think they're going to run him more, just to help Cam out a little bit, try and protect Cam's arm, have him hand it off rather than just throwing the dump offs. There's loads in this. I mean, there's absolutely tons of good running backs. Zeke was in mind. Obviously, there's Lev Bell's an option. Now he's back. I think they're going to run it a lot.
Could he be in for comeback player of the year? Is he allowed because he wasn't like injured?
I think so. Listen, I remember didn't Phil Rivers win it once just because he was crap, and then was good again. I don't think there's like massive parameters for it, but
right.
Yeah,
he's just isn't that most improved?
Yeah, but apparently he won it, so it's mad. He was what happened? Where did you come back from? No, it was crap for a year, and then I've come back. I think the Panthers might run McCaffrey a lot.
Okay.
So I've gone for him.
I'm surprised at that. Like,
yeah,
we'll see.
Shout out to, I think, Alvin. Listen, there'll be a rookie, like someone who comes in like a 4th round pick, like Philip Lindsay, and just dominates it. But yeah, that was my pick as well. I was tempted to, obviously, Kareem Hunt would have been, I think, is going to run a lot, but he's suspended for too many games for him to be in it. But I think as and when he comes back, I think he's going to be really good as well for Cleveland. But obviously, he's suspended for a while. Receiving yards, I found this really tough.
Yeah, I am really high on your receiver, Davante Adams, and I think Julio Jones is obviously going to be up there. I think you can look at Nuke. I think he's going to be up there, of course, but I have settled with your receiver, Davante Adams.
Yeah, I think he's...
And I hope so, because I've drafted him in one of my leagues, because I think that...
I think he'll get a lot of touchdowns. I don't know. Yardage, I don't know. It's hard, because the offense it's new offense,
isn't it? 1,300 last season, so he's a couple of 100 yards off the top last season. So.
We had a bad year, and he catches touchdowns for fun. You've mentioned when I went for Hopkins. A bold choice, I know. Like, I think...
The man with the best hands.
Yeah, I think they're going to chuck it to him at times.
Well, that's what he does. That's what the quarterback does. He's like, boom, see you later.
Again, if anyone watched the last show, I was kind of boldish on the Texans. So yeah, I've gone Hopkins.
Anyone else in the show? Julio Jones has got to be. If he's not one, he's two.
Antonio Brown, I wouldn't rule him out. Michael Thomas, I think is brilliant. I wouldn't rule him out.
Thomas and Thielen will probably contest most catches.
Yeah.
But I don't think they'll get the high yardage.
Thielen's another one who I think is definitely... There's just so many good
I think Diggs is going to surprise a lot of people this season.
I think they're both going to get 1,000, Thielen and Diggs.
Yeah.
But I think that because there's two of them, I think it kind of it takes it away. And the fact that I think you're going to run quite a fair amount as well. There's so many good receivers. I think Juju's in the mix. Beckham, obviously, you spoke about. There's absolutely loads. I ultimately settled on Hopkins, who's good, but it's a... Again.
Listen, the lad can throw the ball deep and he can catch the ball with one finger. So I think it's a good shout.
I think he's got a lot of targets as well, provided he's healthy. Next one, then let's flip over to... We've done a bit of offense. Let's do defensive players then. Defensive player of the year, is it Aaron Donald?
Yeah.
Defensive player of the year not named Aaron Donald, what would you be looking at there? By the way, I went Aaron Donald. I'll go for Aaron Donald every year he's playing up until the point where he's no longer playing. Do you want me to go for mine first?
Yeah, go for it.
I think Myles Garrett's going to be really good.
Yeah.
In Cleveland. I think he's going to get a lot of sacks on a good team who's going to be on telly a lot, and I think that matters when it comes to these type of things. I think a good team who gets to the playoffs, he's going to make big interceptions, big tackles, big sacks that win games. I think that kind of skews voters as well. So I think Donald will win it because I think he's the best player in the league. But I think Myles Garrett will run him close.
Yeah, I mean, I'd really like to see Earl Thomas get it. Like, I really hope that he comes back and is able to put that injury. Maybe I should be looking at him more as a comeback player, thinking about it. But, you know, they're great cornerbacks, but they're never up there.
It's always pass rush. It'll be pass rush.
It is. It's always pass rushes.
Khalil Mack.
Yeah, and I'm not sure he quite is as dominant this season as last. I'm not sure you can get as many fumbles, interceptions and sacks again from him like he did last season, because he was otherworldly last season and he didn't win it. It kind of shows me that it is just Aaron Donald that's in for this, because he's the lightest friggin' defensive lineman, I think, that plays the game regularly, and B, he's the absolute best by a country mile.
Like I think Fletcher Cox is the second best, and I think the gap between Cox and Donald is as big as any gap between the best and second. You know, like if you look, the best receiver in the second one, I think that gap's huge, like best whatever. I think the gap between, and I think Fletcher Cox is amazing. I think he's another one who could win it, but I think Donald is just like otherworldly. So I think it's a boring choice, but I think it's the obvious one. You mentioned comeback player, then we might as well do that now. You've mentioned, man, I think Lev Bell's going to win this. I think he's going to do. I don't think the Jets are going to be brilliant, but I think he's going to get a lot of touches and a lot of yards. Yeah. I think he's going to catch it loads. I think he's going to run loads. And I think I would be like 1,500 yards combined or something mad. I think he's going to be up there because they haven't got. I'm quite high on Sam Darnold. I'm not completely sure what their other weapons yet. I think the fact that he catches it means even when they're losing games, he's still a massive threat. He's not just hidden away. So I've gone for Bell to win comeback. What did you end up plumping for?
Carson Wentz.
I mean, obviously, yeah, it's a really good one.
I've got him winning the division.
Yeah, in hindsight, I've got them winning the Super Bowl. So maybe I should have picked them as well. But yeah, I forgot about that. So yeah, I'm going to stick with Lev Bell.
Okay.
But yeah, Carson Wentz is a really good shout. He's really good at football.
Yeah, and there's quite a few. I think Earl Thomas, we've mentioned, could be in for this one. If you can just have a bad year, that opens it up to a lot of players. I mean, we need to get some real parameters, as you mentioned, on this one, because just have it being bad for a few months and then coming back, it's not really coming back. You've already been there. Yeah. It's got to be people, for me, that haven't played, that are literally coming back.
Injuries or holdouts or whatever.
And I'm not really sure that Bell should be allowed. To be honest with you, I mean,
in hindsight, it's a terrible choice. I think Carson Wentz is a good.
I think Bell will be in and around the conversation if he's allowed to be in the conversation, because he's gone from no yards.
Cam could be another one.
He probably does.
Because he's coming back from having no arm. I think Wentz is a good pick actually. Let's move on. MVP? Shall we do MVP or sure?
Let's do. Offensive
player of the year / MVP. Are you going to separate them?
Yeah, it has been separated a couple of times over the last few years.
I think if they, like, obviously Pat Mahomes won both, didn't he? I think last year. If there's a receiver who's like truly excellent, I think or a running back who's like amazing.
I think Barkley gets it.
Yeah.
I think Barkley gets
Offensive player of the year.
Offensive player of the year. And here's my bold prediction. I've got the Saints winning the Super Bowl, and if the Saints win the Super Bowl, I think Kamara gets it.
Okay. Could they get closer and they'll be really good? I'll be honest, I've gone bored, and I think Pat Mahomes wins both of these again. I had the Chiefs get into the Super Bowl. I just think he's otherworldly good. And it's the highlight plays that win you these awards, isn't it? Again, I think you've got to be on a team who wins, you've got to put up the stats, and you've got to have 3 or 4 like wow moments where you're like, backhanded passes.
And
he has this every game. I think he's probably going to get better. I still think if you watch Pat Mahomes last year, there's still like 4 or 5, 6 times a game where he just whiffs on throws like miles out, like nowhere near them. I think he tidies all that up. I think I'd be amazing. Listen, 50 touchdowns or whatever is going to be hard to get. But I think on a really good team, I think 40 is certainly in play. So I've gone bored and got him winning both.
I've got Mahomes as MVP as well. I think I do think it's going to be the Chiefs and the Saints. And I think they'll give the MVP to him again. Like, I think they want somebody else taking the mantle.
I think if Drew Brees is pretty good, he's got a good chance. Because I think he deserves to have one. He's going to retire soon, a year or two, probably 2 maybe. And
I've got retired.
You have got him, and they have never given him it. And I think I think the voters...
Last year was the
It
chance
was,
for
and
that.
then, but they just couldn't. I think they would have loved to, but Mahomes got 50 touchdowns, so it's not. It's farcical to give him it. If Mahomes is slightly just downgrades slightly, and Breeze is around the same level, I think the voters would love to give it, and I wouldn't be against it because I think he actually deserves it. I think he's one of, like, probably a top 10 quarterback of all time. I think, in fact, let's remove probably. I think he is, and I think like all the greats have won it. You know what I mean? The best. They always. Like, your Brady's and your Mannings in recent years. Aaron Rodgers has won it a couple of times. Now Pat Mahomes. Matt Ryan won it. Cam Newton won it. I think he's better than those two. I think he's had better careers than those two. And I know it's only an individual season award, but I think
they do like that body of work.
I think the voters
well.
would love to, and I wouldn't be against it. I think if the Saints are good and Breeze is decent, and Mahomes is just a little bit less on the stat sheet, I don't think Breeze is a terrible shout to win it. And then Tom Brady might win it because he's Tom Brady.
Yeah, I think we're all bored of Tom Brady winning it, both MVPs and, quite frankly, Super Bowls. I'm definitely bored of the Super Bowls. If this is another season where the Patriots just dog their way to another Super Bowl, I'm going to be really, really disappointed.
Yeah, it's just a bit...
It's just shit, isn't it? I mean, you know what's shit? Not watching them, because I actually enjoy watching them, and I like the fact that you can watch a different... You can watch almost a different defense every week, and you can actually watch a different offense every week. I think they might struggle with the tight ends this season, personally. With, you know, they've got big gaps there, and, you know,
they're not great
going back a few years, you know, when they had the two tight end sets, they really revolutionised that, didn't they? And they really brought that back to the forefront. And now with having no tight ends, I'm interested to see what they do. But for me, the most boring part of the season is the 2-week build-up to the Super Bowl.
When it's New England.
When it's New England. There's just, we've been there. It's like every little piece of news is about the Super Bowl on these two sides. And you can't tell me any more new information about the fucking Patriots that I don't already know, because they've been in the Super Bowl so many fucking times that 2 weeks. It just bores me to death.
So we're hoping that Tom doesn't win the MVP, but I wouldn't be shocked if he did. That's where we go. Excited? Season
I am.
Coming up.
I am really excited.
I don't know when this is going out, but it's going to be close. Yeah, it's good to be back. It's good to be talking about it. I'll be honest, of all those picks, if you had to, you know, the ones of all the picks we've just made, let's take Aaron Donald out of the equation, because I think we're pretty certain if he stays healthy, they'll win. Is there any of those individual award winners that you would say you are most confident of? Because I'll be honest, I'm not particularly confident of any of them, really. I think I would go for Mahomes as MVP, as the one I would.
Yeah, I think that's probably right. I think I've probably stuck my neck out a bit on the receiving yards. The rushing yards, obviously Zeke's, you know, in a bit of turmoil at the moment. So
I think Wentz is a
probably,
really good one.
I think he's got a really good opportunity. I do think the Eagles are going to be good this season. So
yeah, I think I'll go boring and go Mahomes. I think Wentz. I probably should have said Wentz. I've literally got to win the Super Bowl. More fool me.
There's a lot of players that we talk about in a lot of teams. It's easy to forget.
And there's just so many good players as well, which is always a bonus. Thanks for everyone at home for watching. Thanks for listening. Hopefully you're ready for the season as well. Like I say, in the comments below, if you're watching on YouTube, let us know who you think are going to win all those individual awards we spoke about. And if you're listening on the podcast, tweet us and let us know the same. It's at Cover2TV. We love interacting with you guys. We'll reply to as much as we can when we
tag us in as well at Mr. Bloodred and
that's the whole. Get us involved. We'll chat to as many people as we can. We love talking NFL. It kind of gets us away from the job of talking about the other type of footy, which we love as well, but this is more a hobby than a job. Like I say, the season's back. We'll be back every week. Fingers crossed. Everything being well. Yeah. And as I say, hopefully. I mean,
it's your first game. Are you shitting it?
Yeah, I think we'll win, but I'm not totally committed. I don't know who we are. Like
is he going to shave, Rodgers?
I hope not.
Oh, I really hate that moustache.
Yeah.
He double denimed up in Canada, did you see?
He did double, and then he dressed up as the guy from Happy Gilmore.
Right.
All four quarterbacks were different ones. He was the orderly, you know, the hospital fella. It was really funny. Maybe.
I just hate him.
Yeah.
I hate him. I mean, listen, clearly one of the most talented quarterbacks that's ever been around, but an absolute cockwomble of a fella. He is though.
Yeah,
he is, isn't he? He's an absolute tit, like.
Yeah, he's not. I don't think he's the most easy person to get along with.
He's just a gobshite.
But he might win, so I'm all for him.
Do you actually like him though?
I kind of have to, don't I?
No.
Okay, I don't think I would like his personality, but because of who he is and what he's done,
His mother doesn't even like his personality.
No, but he won a Super Bowl for me once.
He's a prick.
Won a Super Bowl.
Come on, he's a prick.
He is a little bit of a prick.
There you go.
But he's my prick. Like you.
I love my brick. So we can all love our own bricks.
There we go then. Let's end it on that note. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Please make sure you're subscribed on YouTube. And if you're listening on the podcast, make sure you subscribe to that
Can't
as
stop
well.
this chair from turning. I'm going to be facing you in a second. You better end the show.
Okay, bye.